Hi Fox, is your Shafi from Global Insight Hub once again. Now let's dig in. Here are some scary Titanic facts no one knew. The Titanic wasn't alone. She had two sister ships, the Olympic and the Britannic. Britannic also sank. However, she was used as a hospital ship during World War I. Lifeboat laws were outdated. Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats, enough for about half the passengers. This was because regulations were based on ship tonnage rather than passenger capacity. A coal fire was burning even before departure. Evidence shows a fire smoldered in one of Titanic's coal bunkers before it even left Southampton. This could have weakened the steel hull in the same area where the iceberg struck. The iceberg warning was ignored. Titanic received at least 6 iceberg warnings that day, but the final one never reached the captain. The radio operator was busy sending passenger messages. The ship broke the rules for speed. Captain Edward Smith pushed Titanic to near top speed despite iceberg warnings. He may have been trying to set a record for crossing time. The unsinkable myth was mostly media hype. The White Star Line never officially said Titanic was unsinkable. Newspapers and magazines made that claim to sensationalize her launch. A missing key may have doomed the ship. The lookout's binoculars were locked away, and the officer with the key was reassigned last minute. Without binoculars, it was harder to spot the iceberg. The nearby ship didn't help. The SS Californian was within sight of Titanic but didn't respond quickly. This was partly because its radio operator had gone to bed. Only first class had luxury. While first class passengers enjoyed swimming pools, a gym, and gourmet food, third class travelers had only 2 baths shared among more than 700 people. Many heroes went unnoticed. Musicians famously kept playing until the end, but engineers also worked below deck until their deaths, keeping the power running so others could escape. Strange coincidences predicted the disaster. In 1898, a novel called Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan, described an unsinkable ship named Titan that hit an iceberg in the North Atlantic and sank. 14 years before Titanic, the luxury had a dark contrast. First-class passengers had access to swimming pools, Turkish baths, and fine dining, but third-class passengers had to bring their own food and cutlery. The ship's number had a spooky rumor. Some Irish dockworkers believed Titanic's hull number 390,904, when seen in a mirror, looked like nitrogen monoxide Pope. Superstition said it cursed the ship. Not enough life jackets for children. There were life jackets, but they were all adult. Many children and smaller people slipped out of them in the freezing water. The ship's band played until the end. They played cheerful music to calm passengers, and reportedly their last song was Nearer, My God, to Thee. None survived. The wealthiest man on board refused a seat. Business tycoon John Jacob Astor helped his pregnant wife onto a lifeboat, but stayed behind, saying the ladies must go first. The captain had planned to retire. Edward Smith intended the Titanic voyage to be his last before retirement. He went down with his ship. Bodies were never found for most victims. Over 1,500 people died, but many were never recovered because of the freezing waters and rough conditions. The ship split in 2. Survivors claimed the ship broke apart, but investigators didn't believe it until the wreck was found in 1985, showing it had indeed split before sinking. One Japanese survivor was shamed. Masabumi Hosono survived by boarding a lifeboat, but when he returned to Japan, he was called a coward for not dying with the others. The SOS signal was new. Titanic was one of the first ships to use the SOS distress signal. Before that, most used CQD. The operators actually sent both. A baker survived by drinking alcohol. Chief Baker Charles Join survived in the freezing water for hours, partly because he had been drinking heavily, which kept his body warm. Now you know some lesser-known and hidden facts about the Titanic. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.